So I just something use it because I know that location is equal to something like that. You don't have to really have a colon there. Yes, replication is LRS, GRS, RA, GRS, and etc. Yes, any questions online or offline that I can take till here? Let me check the chat box. Let me see this. Does indexing work in JSON object? Yes, definitely. Indexing also works in JSON object. Index kind of works there. Can we implement the script from JSON instead of using PowerShell? No, you cannot implement the script from JSON. Reason being, JSON has a different syntax. This is a JavaScript object notation. This is a file, nothing but a file out here. In order to read this file, I am writing a script. So if your question is that, can I simply take that JSON, give it to Azure? If you're doing that, then that is called as an ARM template, which is a different thing out there, which we will look at tomorrow on what ARM template really is. But for now, you cannot just take this object or you cannot just take this JSON and give it to Azure. Azure will not be able to understand the same thing out there, for which you will need a PowerShell script. So what I'll do, I'll just firstly save this PowerShell script out here. Say this multiple stories, and let's now start working with our logic to go ahead. And firstly, I'll check if the RG exists. If not, create it. So what I'll do is firstly to check this out, I'll say $RG status is equal to get hyphen AZ resource group hyphen the name of the resource group. What should be the name of the resource group that I need to pass here, guys? Dollar object, or is it dollar value.rg name? Dollar value.rg name, because value is itself giving that. Exactly. So I'll do a dollar value dot rg name out here hyphen. I'll say location dollar value dot location. This is what I'm giving. I'll say error action. I'll say silently continue out here. Now I'll say if dollar rg status is equal to null. And this can only be null if there is no resource group out there. I'll say write host or write warning, anything is okay. I'll say rg with the name dollar of dollar value. Again, I'm giving a dollar of dollar because I'm passing the variable inside a quote. Dot rg name not found. Creating a new one. So creating a new one out there. So now I'm going ahead and doing that. And once I am here, I'll say new hyphen AZ resource group. Say hyphen the name of the resource group is dollar value dot rg name out here. Hyphen the location is dollar value dot location. This is what I'm now giving to check if the resource group exists, and if it doesn't, go ahead and create this out. Else say write host rg already exists, or rg with the name dollar value dot already exists. This is the first block that I'm writing for resource group within the for each loop. This is the entire for each, and within the for each loop I'm just writing it. Can you please reduce the volume, or can you just come in the front seat? You can take, you can occupy the first seat out here. Yeah, you can occupy the first one out here. You can just pull this out a little bit because I've switched the fan off as well, so you can pull this out. All right, so now if I go ahead and execute this out, it's telling team name is development warning, rg name with dev not found, creating a new one. Created this out. moved to a different team automatically, saying QA is not found, creating a new one out here. It moved to DevOps, saying DevOps RG is not found, creating a new one out there. So what it did in a second is that it took the entire data, looped over it, iterated over that particular data, went inside each and every block, not only printed this information, it's also checking whether the resource group is there. If it's not, going ahead and creating this out. And once if you look at that particular, let's say, Azure portal, I have the dev, QA, and DevOps RG already being created out here. So this is how I'm going in and looping things out using this particular for each loop. So if you look at this one, I am firstly reading the file, telling get content and etc. After that, I am iterating over this particular object because this is now an array. It is not simple object out here. It's an array right now. And that's the reason I'm going ahead and doing a write host, telling what are all the values that I do have. After that, inside the same for each loop, I'm checking whether that particular storage account exists or not. If it doesn't, that's where I'm going ahead and creating this out. Now, if you run the script once again, right? Do you see what it did? Team name something. It's telling RG with this particular, let's say, name already exists. And if you want this to be highlighted a little bit, let's put a foreground color and say yellow. And let's execute the script once again. It's now telling RG with this particular name already exists and RG with this particular name QA already exists and etc. because they're already created on the portal. In case you happen to delete it out and run the script once again, it'll go ahead and let's say create this out once again out there. So this is what it is now doing. This is how it is, let's say, going ahead and creating all these things out there. So let me also delete this. It'll take some time to delete this out. So I'll delete this out to see whether the script is also working for that negative scenario, wherein it's checking that the resource group is not there and then going ahead and creating this out there. And once it's doing that, I'll write some more additional scripting out here. So this is a block. This if and else is a block for a resource group. I'll also go ahead and start writing something for storage accounts and also the container inside it. But before I go there, any questions that I can take? Anyone, any questions that I can take till here?
Hi Kiran,
Any questions that I can take? Go ahead, please.
In real-time scenario, apart from JSON file, is there any other format we have to use?
Excel, XML, depends upon how your project is actually trending out there. But usually 90% of the times you use a JSON format, a very versatile language that is used out there.
Okay, Kiran.
Uh, no one a lot is using XML these days because XML is a little difficult to follow. JSON is somewhere easier, meaning moderate, I would say, not easier. YAML is the most easiest. So YAML JSON is a combination right now that's going around right now. So now what I want to do is that I also want to check whether storage account is there. Check if storage is there. It's already there. If not, create it. So I can do again same thing. I can just copy paste this entire line. So again, if else, this is the same thing that I'm going to follow. Instead of RG status, I'll say it is storage status. Instead of telling it is get hyphen AG resource group, I'll say get hyphen and wait for this and say AZ storage account. This is what I'm doing. I'll say hyphen the resource group name. The resource group name right now is $value dot RG name. This is the resource group name in which I want to create this particular storage account in. Even the name of the storage account right now is $value dot storage account, sorry, $value dot storage account name hyphen, I'll say just let's see. Okay, this is get right. So I'll do an error action. Let's say silently continue. And if that particular storage status is equal to null, then I will say storage account with the name $value dot storage name not found, and I'll give one more thing here telling under the RG dollar value dot dollar value dot RG name. So I'm now giving an entire sentence telling that okay, fine, the storage account is not found. So I'll create a new one. And here instead of writing new hyphen AZ resource group, I'll say new hyphen AZ storage account. This is what I'll do, and I'll say hyphen resource group name is again dollar value dot RG name. Hyphen name of the storage account is value dot storage name. Hyphen the location or the SKU is dollar value dot SKU. Hyphen location is dollar value dot location. So I'm calling that particular dollar value. I'm using the properties of that particular dollar value to go ahead and let's say use it inside my entire for each. And I'll say the storage v2 access tier. I would say dollar value dot access tier is something that I can be using. And then rest I don't need any properties apart from these ones. Else I would say storage account with the name value dot storage account name already exists under the RG dollar of dollar RG out here. Dollar of dollar value dot RG name. I can kind of do this out. And if I now want a block for container, I'll do the same thing. Just copy paste this one, but instead of get hyphen AZ storage account, I'll do get hyphen AZ storage container out there. This is what I'll be doing as such out there. So now if I just execute this, now let's execute it one after the other. And if I now execute this out, I deleted the dev RG, right? It's now telling dev RG is not found. It created that particular RG and then it's moving to the storage account. It's now telling storage with this particular name not found, creating a new one under that particular dev RG out there. So it's now going in provisioning a storage account to me. And once that is done, it will move to the next block. In the next block, QARG is already there. QARG basically is already there. So it should not create it. So that's what it will do. It won't create it and it'll check for the storage account. It'll see that the storage account is already there. Sorry, see that the storage account is not there. It'll create the storage account. Move to DevOps, do the same thing out there. So now my script is doing an end-to-end. Now if you see, it's telling team name is QA, RG with the name already exists, but storage with the name doesn't exist. So it's going inside the if and the else loop alternatively, depending upon how the condition is being satisfied out there. So exists and it's now telling this is not found and it's creating one out here. It's going ahead and doing this particular end-to-end scripting as such. Again, let's review our script on what did we achieve so far, where are we so far. Very first thing, I'm reading that particular JSON, but this time the JSON is not a simple object. It's an array. It's an array of the objects basically that I'm dealing with. So I'm doing a for each, and inside the for each, see, I only have one for each loop out here. Inside the for each is where I'm going ahead and checking whether the RG is existing. If not, go ahead and create this out. Checking whether the storage is existing, go ahead, create this out. And finally, I'll also have a container wherein I'll do a get hyphen AZ storage container status out there. Check whether the container is existing and also go ahead and create the same thing out there. And my script is doing the same thing out there. My script is going ahead telling that the DevOps RG already exists and etc. Now, if I run this once again, if I run my script once again out there, storage exists, RG exists, again storage exists and RG exists, and the script will simply exit out here. Now, if there is a new team that is coming into picture, let's say there's a new team called HR team. HR wants a different resource group out there. So if I just go ahead and add this file, so no changes to the PowerShell script at all. I'll say this is HR, this is HRRG or something like this. This is HR storage, and this is HR container. All these things out there, North Europe and all that stuff. This is all good. So I just added one more block out here. So all I can do, all I can keep doing is that adding this particular file or adding objects into this particular file. And if I rerun this again, it's reading the same file. Dev doesn't exist. QA exists. It's not creating it out. DevOps exists. Now it's going to the HR, not found, creating it. It's looking for that particular storage account, not found. It will create this out. So whatever you add is now accommodated for just with one particular script. So scripting is one thing. File addition can be any number of times out there. Your script can accommodate all these changes as such. Yes, any
Yeah,
questions
hi
that I can
Kiran.
take? Hmm? Okay, please.
Yeah, actually, if you add any object in the JSON file, for example, in the real
Mm-hmm.
time, it might be 50s and hundreds. So every time
Mm,
the if loop for each loop will run, right?
definitely.
The 50 objects are exist,
Hmm.
skipping, exit, skipping like that. It will come.
Definitely, it will, because
So
that's the intention of mine. Yes.
okay, so there is no direct option like creating the new one
Uh,
without
this is the
executing
direct option
previous
to
and all.
create the new one. As in, this is the direct
Okay,
option to create the new one, because if you say there is no direct option to create the new one, then the first question is that, my question is the older one already existing? Because let's say today you run, the older one is there, tomorrow you run, the older one is not there, then what? So that's the reason I need to check whether that particular object exists and then go ahead and create this out. So yes, I need to check each and every object, see whether the property is already there in the Azure portal. If not, then go ahead and create this out.
for example, one RG, if you don't want by the client requirement, we need to delete it the JSON and then
Exactly.
here also, right? In a account, Azure
No.
account, and then JSON. Both places we
Again,
need to delete, right?
you can just delete it from here. Yes, both the places you have to delete it. So if you remove this
Okay,
block and delete it from, let's say, that particular Azure account, then the PowerShell script will not create it at all. The PowerShell script will not even know that this object is there.
okay, okay. Thank you.
Now the assignment for you all is that I have written the script earlier to create the storage account. Can you do a container here? The same logic. If you are able to do one container, what if a team wants multiple containers? Can I also accommodate multiple containers inside it? This is something that I want you all to think on. These are the lines that I want you all to, let's say, think on out there. So please work on it, and when we meet tomorrow, let me know what are the challenges that you face. And I'll also, there are a couple of emails that I need to reply. I'll also reply to that. And guys, anyone who has a question with PowerShell, and anyone who's facing an error with PowerShell, please go ahead, send that particular script out to me, because until and unless I don't see your script, I won't be able to comment on what is the error that you're getting. So please send that particular script out, and I'll be able to comment, and I'll be able to take those questions out there. All right, any more questions that I can take for today? Okay. Uh, okay, let's see. There are a couple of things out here. Can a JSON object contain multiple array? I want to have multiple storage account names. Yes, you can have. That is what I was telling. Is that, can you have multiple containers inside the same team? Yes, you can have. Let's say also that one. If you want an array inside an array, then let's say the container name here, instead of becoming an object, becomes an sorry instead of becoming a string, becomes an array out here. You can say container one and container two. You can have an array within an array. This is what I wanted you all to, let's say, kind of give an attention to. Here we are creating a single RG. So if you have multiple, can use params. If here we are creating single RG, single container. So no, we are not creating a single RG, single container. We are actually creating multiple RGs and multiple containers for each and every team out there. You can also use params. Just depends upon what do you want to achieve with that particular parameterization out there. Right, so this is the assignment, guys. Please take this, try to write this out. The reason I'm giving this as an assignment and not taking it in the class is because I want you all to try it. I want you all to make mistakes, not a problem. Make mistakes, make as many as mistakes as possible, and let me know how can I help you with the same thing out there. All right, so with that, I'll close this session today. We'll meet tomorrow, and we'll start with ARM templates from tomorrow as an extension to this JSON. So please again revise on what really JSON is, and we'll talk about ARM templates from there. Thank you guys and have a good day ahead. Thank you.